And we back. Now today I felt like rebuilding the Cavs, man. I really felt like they were one of the worst teams in the league last year. They got a couple things working for them, and I'm here to get them back to the level of play they were at the last couple years when Braun was in town. Now, usually I try to correlate my shirt with the team I'm rebuilding, but I went through my entire collection. Notice I don't have a single Cavs shirt. Not a throwback, not a current, nothing. Maybe that's for good. Oh my God, that's not true. Let me go show you the shirt. Yes. All right, so it's this Dunk Master Miles shirt, Darius Miles, right? The shirt pretty plain, everything, but then you got the back. Tell me I ain't killing the game. Now, shopping online when you're like 5'7" is kind of tough. I think this is a medium, but it felt like a large. But yeah, that's my Cavs shirt. Y'all happy? Anyway, let's rebuild the Cavs teams. So you see they got Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, Larry Nance Jr. They just gave an extension to. Jordan Clarkson's here for one last year. I told myself that part of rebuilding the Cavs, I will keep these two together. I don't know if they will work in real life, but I'm going to try my best to make them work in 2K. So I will make Colin Sexton a shooting guard because I see him more as that anyway, even though he's small. I mean, he didn't do a great job playmaking in his rookie season, and it's partially could be because he's a rookie and stuff like that has to develop. But regardless, he's going to be playing started shooting guard for us alongside Darius Garland. I mean, people are trying to compare it to Damian Lillard and CJ, but there's a bit difference because Darius Garland is 6'2", Colin Sexton is 6'2", and then you got the Trailblazers 6'3" Dame and 6'3" CJ. So it's just an inch difference, but sometimes that inch matters. I really got to work on my word. Anyway, the plan is to trade Kevin Love right now. Trade Kevin Love right now. Let's try to bottom out. I don't know if we have our first round pick, but regardless, Kevin Love's that crazy contract. We don't really want that on the books. I would love to get like a nice first round pick for him. The Hawks want him. They'll give us a pick from this year. I don't want to give him to the Hawks though. They always are a pretty decent team the first year. But the Mavericks, on the other hand, in 2K, they always suck year number 1. So maybe trade number 10 is the one to go. I mean, this would be cool, but we don't need another shooting guard on the roster with Jrue Holiday. We don't need that guy. I don't need Wiggins. I don't need to trade. I mean, trading him to Portland would be dope for Portland. But that first round pick for us is lottery protected, and the Trailblazers will be good. So let's do trade number 10. Send them to Dallas to play alongside Porzingis and Luka, and we'll see if they can work it out. They give us an unprotected first round pick, and let's hope. This is a one-time I'm going to hope on some other team's downfall. We're going to hope that they don't work out. Next thing is to trade Tristan Thompson. I don't know if he has much trade value. He's on the last year of his deal. Literally an expiring contract. So maybe somebody will just take the money. The Wizards will give us a lottery protected first round pick. They're throwing us back Jan Mahimi. Both expiring contracts. This helped them get a little bit better. I guess he's going to be backing up or maybe starting for Thomas Bryant. Regardless, we get a first round pick out of it. That's all we care about. Is there any other players here I want to trade Jordan Clarkson too? They may love him in Cleveland. I don't really know, but he is on the last year of his deal, similar to the other guys. And if he's got some type of value, I want to turn that value into future value right now because he's 27 years old. He's been a pretty decent like spark plug for a few years. The Bucks, he give us a first and George Hill. Tony Snell coming to Cleveland. How many years? He got that player option next year, but they're giving us an unprotected first round pick. That is 100% a deal. Boom. Those are like 3 big trades. We got 3 first round picks for pieces that may not matter too much. And then we also still have Tim Hardaway Jr. here, who I got in that first trade. So if we can flip him for another pick, we're all set for making a big splash when it comes to making a big time trade. But I don't know if there's any more picks out there that people are willing to give up. So instead of looking for a pick, can we find like a player that kind of just helps? Like this trade doesn't look terrible for us. We bring in Trey Lyles, who's only 23 years old. He still got some potential in real life. I think that Trey Lyles still got a lot left in the tank. He just ain't really had the opportunity. This year, he's pretty good in Denver. They also want to give us Patty Mills, who's a bad contract. They want Dylan Windler, though. If I can somehow do this deal without giving up Dylan Windler, I'll 1,000% do that. So give us back Patty Mills, and then I'll give you some Darius Thornwell instead. They want Dylan Windler bad. Okay, you can just take that second. No, I'm not. Okay, one last thing. We'll give you another second. At this point, it's not worth it. I'm not giving you 4 second-round picks. I'm sorry, we can't do that trade. But now Trade Finder's showing this. Easy deal. Easy deal. That's exactly what we wanted. We didn't give up any picks, and I get my boy Trey Lyles onto the team. So Trey Lyles will probably step in and start for us, which is dope. So we're looking at a young Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Jetty Osman, who still develop at 24 years old. Trey Lyles at 23, and then Larry Nance at 26 off the bench. I'm going to let Patty Mills stay here. Patty Mills, John Henson, Dellavedova, Tony Snell. I actually want Kevin Porter Jr. and Dylan Windler getting minutes. We're not playing for anything this year, so I don't need Tony Snell getting minutes. I'll give all the Tony Snell minutes to the rookie. John Henson, Patty Mills, I'll take some of their minutes. Same thing with Dellavedova, Kevin Porter. Yep, let's get our young guys going, man. Let's get these boys developed, and let's sim. Season is over. 18 wins is where we were at, so not good season, which is exactly what we expected. So I didn't expect any of us to win awards. I hope Darius Garland made an all-rookie team. There he is. So all-rookie first team. He put up numbers. Oh, those are amazing numbers right there. 35% from 3, which is fine. 44% from the field. 19 points per game. Yes, that's what I want right there, baby. So that is very decent there. I gotta see what Colin Sexton and Cedi Osman did, because those are the other two players that I care about on this roster right now. Trey Lyles put up good numbers. He shot 40% from the field, though. Actually, maybe not the greatest. Colin Sexton puts up 17. He had a better overall season. Statistically, shooting the ball is a little bit worse. Dylan Windler, pretty decent numbers there. Okay. Kevin Porter Jr., 7 points per game off the bench. Let's go. So we'll just simulate this. Obviously, we didn't make the playoffs with a record like this. I'm guessing we had the worst record in the league, which is 18 wins. Detroit is a 3 seed, and they beat Boston. They make a big-time trade. Oh, the big-time trade was getting Jordan Clarkson. Look at that. I'm out here rebuilding other teams for them. That's dope, though. That's really dope. So we actually, yeah, that's a big trade. Who else did we trade? Traded Kevin Love to the Mavericks, and they didn't make the playoffs. Kane Candy taking advantage of other general managers while rebuilding the Detroit Pistons. Psych, this is a Detroit Piston rebuild. You thought this was a Cavs rebuild. Oh, they lost in the champion. Oh my God. Derrick Rose said he went to Detroit because he felt like they could sneak into the finals. He did that. And then they lost by 20 in a game 7. Oh my heart. Derrick, what did you do in the playoffs? 17, shot 51% from the field. Big buckets, D-Rose. But I cannot believe this team made it to the finals. Shout out to Detroit basketball. Blake Griffin just didn't step it up in game 7 when they needed him the most. But wow, what a turn of events. All right, so again, I don't know if we have our own first round pick, but we 1000% have the Dallas Mavericks pick. Draft lottery, here we come. So let's see, because we did make a bunch of trades. Pelicans, whoa. Why do the Pelicans have our pick? Huh. What trade went on when the Pelicans ended up with the Cavs pick? So that is the Dallas Mavericks pick. So they barely missed the playoffs. Anyway, it dropped down to the 5th pick and we kept it. I wonder what trade that was that ended up. Either way, we're going to keep that 5th pick for sure. We may trade that 14th pick. Those are only first round picks here. I did load in the draft class. So let's see what we can do, man, because we're going to have to build this team through trades and stuff. So let's try to find a trade right now. We're going to trade it for 2 first-round picks from the Atlanta Hawks. We're throwing in Patty Mills, a bad contract for us. This team did not make the playoffs last year, and I don't know if they'll make it next year, but we're going to use these 2 first-round picks in a future trade. So we're going to keep the 5th overall pick, and then to see who's the best guy available. It's not going to be a point guard. We're not drafting another point guard here to Cleveland. Any other position is up for grabs, though. I like Cedi Osman, but his spot is not completely safe. So if there's a small, we should go center. We should go center here. 6'10" from Duke. Good shooter. Below average rebounder and defender. I think we go center here. All right, so Vernon Carey is now on the squad. That was our only first round pick. I think I wanted to draft him in a other rebuilding challenge, and he was a 77. This other guy was a 77, but he's a 6'9" center. I don't feel comfortable with a 6'9" center who can't even shoot. Can't even shoot. At least our guy is 6'10" and can shoot. So that's dope. We actually have a center for the future. Larry Nance is cool, but he ain't for the future. So the great thing about this is that we freed up a lot of money. We don't have pretty much anybody on the books. I think the only contracts we have are just these rookie deals and Tony Snell. And yeah, so we got a bunch of money, kinda. If we got to get rid of the cap on these 2 guys, these 3 guys, 4 guys. But yeah, we got some money to spend. And we're not going to sign up a big name guy, but we can sign like tier 2. Like Gallinari would be kind of dope to have here. He's 31, but I think he'll be cool. Or even like bringing Boogie in to play power forward. The options are there. So I brought in Gallinari. I'm thinking about bringing in Boogie. If anything, for a trade piece, but he's an 82 overall, and the money that he wants is ridiculous. I'm going to offer to him because I feel like it wouldn't be terrible to trade. Oh, he actually got 9 offers now. So scratch that. He's not coming here. He may go to Atlanta. And if he goes to Atlanta, we have to win this. We have to... Oh, Boogie, no. See, if he went to Atlanta, which he did, that means the picks that we got in that previous trade are going to be worthless because Boogie's going to make them better. So that is unfortunate. I should have offered him more money. But right now we're looking at, I brought in Sebastian Napier to be a backup point guard. Tony Snell is our starting small forward. Where's Jetty Osman? I'm bringing in Nance Cancer literally to trade. We're about to try to hit a big splash, and we got pieces to do that. So that's the end of free agency for me. The next thing is trying to see how good our guards got. So Colin Sexton jumps up 5. Darius Garland jumps up 3. So those are pretty big jumps. Even the Nance Cancer got better. He would literally be our best center on our roster. Sebastian Napier's getting better. Jetty Osman jumps up. I like it. I like that everybody's still getting better. Even Tony Snell is getting better at 28 years old. So the next deal is to make a big time trade. I got to see who's selling, who's rebuilding, and try to package something. So the best we can do right now is Vucevic to exchange the first round picks here. A lot of the trades that are out there on the market are for guards. And I told y'all I was keeping these 2 guards together. So I can't go out there and snag a super guard unless I have like Colin Sexton transition to a 6-man. Or Darius Garland transitions to a 6-man. But right now, that trade gives us Vucevic. I still got a Nance Cancer to trade. I still have Larry Nance Jr. to trade. And really no power forward at this point. So the next deal is that. Even like Jetty, I'm going to keep these guys on the roster. Let's clarify. I'm going to keep them on the roster. But if you see Colin Sexton drop to the 6-man, don't be upset, especially if that means you win a championship. So let me go ahead and just find the next team that's selling or rebuilding and try to snag something, anything. Add a trade exception here. I'm trying to pick up Tobias Harris. They got the same amount of value, throwing that Atlanta first round pick. Now it says 2.5 stars, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be less than that because the Atlanta Hawks also signed Marc Gasol. So they got Marc Gasol and Boogie as centers. So I'm going to try to snag Tobias. They want to give us Zaire Smith for 2 seconds. Big deal. So Tobias Harris is going to be that starting power forward. And now we have Larry Nance Jr. still on the roster. And I'm going to try to flip Larry Nance Jr. There are some good shooting guards out there that on teams that are selling. So if we throw Larry Nance Jr., how much money Larry Nance Jr. making? $11 million. With Tobias Harris contract is large. I forgot that they gave that man a super bag. Wow. If we throw Larry Nance Jr.'s contract, this is gonna be tough to try to snag. Like I want to get like a star. Or at least close to it. If you take a look at our guard situation, it may be one of the worst defending backcourts in the league. So let's go after one of the better defending backcourt players. So how much? I got to make up only $4 million. That is simple. We'll give you Sebastian Napier. We'll give you Sebastian Napier because even Colin Sexton can play some backup point guard minutes. So let's offer that. Obviously, that is not enough. They do not have a counter. We have this Bucks pick, 1.5 star, 1 first round pick, and probably that's because Victor Oladipo's on the last year of his contract too, so maybe they're just trying to get rid of his money before he walks for nothing. But now we're looking at Darius Garland, Victor Oladipo, Jetty Osman, Tobias Harris, Nikola Vucevic. Now off the bench we have Colin Sexton, who I think is going to be a 6-man candidate. We have Kevin Porter Jr., who I'll probably make a small forward technically. Our bench is cool and young. I like that. I like that a bunch. This is 100% a team that should make the playoffs. And if we're really going for it, like if we're like halfway through the season, I feel good that we can win a championship. I may make another trade at the deadline because we still got so many picks. Look, we have 3 more picks this year alone. So if we're like halfway through the season, we're really good, but another team out there is really bad and they got some pieces I want, I will make that trade. But until then, I mentioned earlier that we might go for halfway through the season, and this is that point. We're 31-12, which is pretty good. Tobias Harris's production hasn't been great for a guy making that much money. He's averaging 14 points per game. Like, we're paying you that much money to average 14. Dylan Windler's not even in our rotation anymore, so I'm going to make this trade for Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's going to be our starting small forward because Jetty Osman hasn't been playing well either. And now with that, with Jetty not playing well, we're going to package him. I know this may hurt a lot of Cavs fans' feelings, but if he's not playing well, I can't talk myself into keeping him on the team if he's not being a good basketball player. That Draymond Green trade is really enticing, but instead we're going to trade for Kyle Kuzma. He's having a really good year, and he can grow alongside some of our younger players as well. We just needed somebody that can also score the ball. We got the defense now with Victor Oladipo and Jimmy Butler. Kyle Kuzma can score the ball. Same thing with Vucevic. Colin Sexton, averaging 20 off our bench, 6th man of the year. I told y'all him coming off the bench is going to be dope. And the rest of our rotation, I feel a lot more confident about this team than the team that we had earlier in the season. I am pretty confident that this is a team that can win a championship. We got 4 players, 65 or higher, 6th man of the year candidate Colin Sexton, like award races. 6th man of the year, he's literally number 1. If he does not win 6th man of the year, if he averages 18 or above and he doesn't win 6th man of the year, I'm gonna be pretty upset. Season is almost done. My thing keeps falling off. What is this called? Analog keeps falling off, and it's terrible. Anthony Davis won MVP. Nico wins Rookie of the Year. Cole Anthony wins 6th Man of the Year. Becomes the second player in NBA history to be a rookie and win 6th Man of the Year behind Ben Gordon, I'm pretty sure. Colin Sexton was robbed. Colin Sexton was 1,000% robbed. I'm not here to argue. It is straight fact that he was robbed. Victor Oladipo, all NBA first team for us. I cannot believe they didn't give it to my guy. He had to, for him not to have done it. He still averaged 20. He led us in scoring off of our bench. Shot great from the field. Look at that. Look at that. And then, hold on. Let's compare the numbers. OKC. We got to go to OKC because that's where the other guy was, right? Cole Anthony, 15 points per game, 6 rebounds, good efficiency. But come on, dog. I'm high. I'm disappointed. Either way, we end up being the 1-2 seed. Somebody let me know. 1 seed. So let's go into coaching. Let's try to make it that we win a championship this year. And because I don't feel like going another year. So I'm really counting on my guys. Victor Oladipo had a good season. Jimmy Butler averaged only 15. Another situation where we paid a guy super amount of money and he's just not playing to his capability. But Jimmy Butler's also the type to let other guys succeed, and he let these other guys succeed, and that's what we're here for. And then Darius Garland takes a huge step back as far as scoring the ball goes because he's actually got teammates that can play. I'm super excited to see what happens. We're going against Washington in the first round, which is funny because we had Washington's first round pick and we traded it. And look at that. It was a good trade because that's no longer a lottery pick because they slid into the playoffs just to get swept. I'm speaking it into existence. Nope. Okay. Spoke a little bit too early. They didn't get swept, but they lose in 5. Now we're going against the Orlando Magic. See if they made any significant moves to their starting 5. Nope. But Markelle Fultz, think won most improved. So I like their roster, but we got Vucevic from them. They got a young, nice defensive roster. It's going to be a struggle to score against them, but I do think that we do have the better team overall. 2-0, 3-0. I try my hardest not to trade for Aaron Gordon. Whenever I trade for Aaron Gordon, you should automatically count it as a W because we're going to win a championship. That's how good Aaron Gordon is as a glue guy in 2K, in real life too. So the Boston Celtics have the same roster, but instead they got Jeremiah Robinson Earl starting at power forward instead of Gordon Hayward because Gordon Hayward got traded to OKC here and for Steven Adams. As you can see, Steven Adams at center. I like their roster a lot. So this is going to be a team that I think can actually give us some run. That's exactly what they did. They won game 1. Okay. Game 2, we come back. Actually, let's just go the whole round. I trust my guys, and we'll stop if anything bad happens. Never mind. We're back in the finals. Cleveland! And we're going against the Warriors. I think the Warriors won last year, too, didn't they? Everybody counting the Warriors out. In 2K, they just do their thing. Beating the Lakers. The Clippers were the 8th seed, but they beat the 1 seed. The Clippers, how did they end up the 8th seed? They still got the same roster. Terrence Mann, is he their starting point guard? Terrence Mann might be their starting point guard. Interesting. Shout out to Terrence. Oh, that's Trey Mann. Huh. I thought that was Terrence Mann from Florida State. You got the Mohawk or something like that. But that's Trey Mann. I don't even know who that is. That's an incoming rookie for the 2020 draft class. Regardless, he was their starting point guard. We're going against the Warriors. I feel good about us. The reason I didn't pull the trigger on that Draymond trade because he was trash. And just like that. And Vucevic, Wins finals MVP. I got to see my boy Colin Sexton average in the playoffs. Oh, he took a step back in the playoffs. He did not shoot efficiently from the field, but from three, he took it up. Almost at 90% from the free throw line. W's, Colin. W. And I'm super excited for them. It's weird to even say. There's not a single, well, there is one single team in the NBA that I'm not excited for. All the other 29 teams, I'm excited to see how their players produce. Colin Sexton, I'm excited to see how he fits with Darius Garland in real life. In 2K, they fit alongside really well as long as one of them was coming off the bench. I'm not the coach there. I'm not the GM, so I'm not going to call the shots in real life. We just have to wait and see. But if you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave it a like. I think I got the hang of the rebuilds again. The first week of 2K, I was really struggling, but that's been dead. I don't think I failed a challenge since the first week of 2K. I'm back. Rebuilding God. I'm here.